Hello and welcome to Mayhem with your host May.
It's there, burning. Every day you show up to your job. Surface level, it marks all the boxes. It pays well. It's dynamic. It's growing. You're consistently learning. There's opportunity for advancement. And yet it's not quite right. You want something different. But this is all you know. What do you do? I'm a tax accountant. I like what I do, but I want more. I feel like this is a job that I fell into. This is a job that I learned. This is a job that took most of my life to figure out. It's complicated, it's big, it's never going to change, and it's always going to get more complicated and bigger and harder. But there's this nagging feeling at the back of my mind like, this isn't right. This isn't what I'm supposed to do. I'm good at it. People know that I'm good at it. But it doesn't feel like home to me. It doesn't feel like this is a burning passion. I like taxes because I grow and I genuinely help people, because when the government asks you to do something, sometimes when government talks, it's in a foreign language and you need an interpreter. I want to be more than an interpreter. I want to be more than somebody who holds people accountable, who is the spokesperson for the government. I don't want to represent the IRS. I don't want to do something that has such little lasting impression on this world. I feel like I'm a middleman. I feel like I'm not helping the way I want to help people. I feel like I'm not changing lives. I just don't feel like this is the right career for me. But right now, I'm a single mother. I have 2 kids. I have a house that I have to pay for. And all of these things are my responsibilities. And what skills do I have to maintain what I have? I can do taxes, and I have lucked into a job where I'm not exactly doing taxes, but I'm not exactly not doing taxes. I don't want to hold people accountable. I want to care about people. I want to do something that makes a difference. I want to do something that changes people's lives. I want to do something that makes people rethink who they are. And even if it's just for a minute, I want to do something where I change lives. These healthcare workers who are going out there every day are changing people's lives. Hell, even the people who work at supermarkets are changing people's lives. And you might come back to me and say, well, you are helping people get their refunds. Because without you, people wouldn't be getting their refunds, because it would be stuck in this tumultuous fraud line from hell, and they wouldn't be able to get the money that they need to help them survive. And yeah, that's true. But at the end of the day, are you going to be thinking about the nurse that took care of you in the hospital, or are you going to be thinking about the person who helped you with your taxes? I'm trying to figure out where my next steps are. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I'm trying to figure out what direction I want my life to go in. I don't want to sit on this. I want to move forward and make plans and go to school. I'm trying to figure out, I thought maybe I'd want to go to women's studies and be an advocate, or maybe I want to go into seminary and be a preacher, or I don't know, do what Brene Brown does, because I love her and I would love to be able to talk to people about wholeheartedness and vulnerability and shame. And to be able to study those things would be amazing, because it could actually help people be better and help people grow, and use what I have learned over the years to be a better person, to help other people finally find their hope and their direction. And then there's fear. There's always fear. What if I go to school and I do all of this studying and I come out and I am not able to take care of my family? What if I do all of this and I'm not able to get a paycheck that's going to pay for my house? What if I do all this and I land in $100,000 more of debt? What if I do all this and it isn't enough? Or I was thinking about being a social worker for a while, and because it's a really broad field, they do a lot of different kinds of things. It's not just, it's not just people who go and help kids. It's not just people who go, and help one part of the population. It is so broad and so dynamic, and there are so many different directions you can go in when you do social work. And then the fear comes in again, and it's like, what if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not patient enough? What if this, what if that, what if whatever? But that's not the point. The point is you need to go out and do something and study something and figure it out. So I'm going to make it a point here and now. I'm going to make a promise that I'm going to figure out what I want to do. And I'm going to do it by probably taking some free classes right now. Maybe I'll get a subscription to the Great Courses Plus and take some creative writing classes. And MIT is offering some free courses that you can download the course material and look at that. And I might look at some of that too, because I don't know what I want to do, but sitting here and thinking about it and talking about it and living in the what if is not going to help me accomplish my dreams. The only thing that's going to help me accomplish my dreams is studying and figuring it out. And then when I figure it out, I'm going to have to take the bull by the horns and run. And I can't let fear stop me. Elizabeth Gilbert says that fear is necessary, but it's like somebody who sits in your backseat. And you can turn to fear and you can say, okay, tell me everything. Tell me why you're so scared. Tell me everything that you're so worried about. And you listen with your whole heart. And then when he has spoken, you say, okay, I understand why you're scared. I understand that you're trying to protect me. I understand why you're here. And I appreciate you for everything that you've done for me. But it's time for you to sit, and it's time for me to be in charge. It's time for me to take the wheel, and it's time for me to guide this. And I don't need you to speak for me anymore because I've heard you. I heard you, and you can go rest now. And I think I'm going to come to that time soon, because I feel like I'm living a double life. I changed my life last year. I left my family, I left a job, and I'm in the same field. And I don't feel like I've gone far enough. I don't feel like I've done enough. I don't feel like I've changed enough. So I'm going to do that more. So I guess the whole point of this is, if you are not feeling like you're in the place that you need to be, if you feel like there's something else out there for you, something more, something different, my advice would be to take action and move towards that feeling. As scary as it is, as sacrificial as it may feel, as vulnerable as you will be, coming to that new term and that new situation, go in there with a beginner's heart and know that you're not alone, and this happens to everybody. The book I want to talk about is by the great Michelle Obama. I read her biography. It's called Becoming. And she talked a lot about how she grew up, which was fascinating. She talked about how she met Barack Obama, how they, got into this relationship, how they got married, how she dealt with going to the rallies and talking for him, and how she had to put her career aside to help Barack achieve his dreams. And all of that was very fascinating to read in the book. But I think the section that was the most powerful for me was Michelle Obama went to Princeton, and she went and studied at Harvard. And from that, she became a lawyer. And coming out of law school, she took a cushy job as a corporate lawyer. She bought a fancy car, she had all these student loans, and she was making bank. But she didn't feel like that was where she wanted to be. She didn't feel that was right. She didn't feel like she was helping people. She didn't feel like her job was where her heart was. And you know what? I completely feel the same. And so, you know what she did? She found another job. She found a job where she helped people and she genuinely made a difference. And she took a pay cut. It was half of what she made before. And she had the guts to do that. And I think that that's empowering for all women. If the president's wife, if the first lady of the United States of America wasn't happy in her first career and decided to change her entire life and take another job, I think that that's something to be said. And I think that that's something that everybody should try. So, I'll leave you there. If you're not happy, change it. And listen to your heart, and listen to your soul, and listen to your gut, and listen to your intuition. Like Glennon Doyle says, listen to your knowing. Because if you live from your knowing and only from your knowing, you'll never make the wrong decision. So thank you very much for listening, and have a good day.